Why did you then take a break from acting? Because, Mr. Bachchan, that was such an interesting, your observation about how in that one decade you never quite understood the depth of people's feelings for you. And then these things happened, this movie, Coolie happened, and you were also diagnosed at that point of time with myasthenia gravis,
the very next year,
which weakened you physically.
Yeah.
And there are some, some narrations of how Amitabh Bachchan was in that time, which said, I have one narration, if I may read out.
Yeah, sure.
His illness made him feel weak both mentally and physically, and he decided to quit films and venture into politics. At this time, he became very pessimistic, expressing concern with how a new film would be received, and stated before every release, "Ye film to flop hogi," or this film will flop. Did this period, 1982, your injury, till the point to time join politics, you're being diagnosed with this disease, affect you somewhere? Because I find it very strange, Mr. Bachchan, that at that time when you were at the height of your powers, you just left it and took a break and went into politics. Tell me about that period, making that shift. Why did you make that shift?
Well, soon after the accident, there was a huge sense of youthful bravado, if you may want to call that. The very place where I had been, in a sense, felled down, I told Manmohan Desai, I want to get up from that same place whenever we shoot it and complete that shot, because that sequence had been incomplete. They had planned something very soft and gentle and not give me much strain, but call it youthful bravado or whatever it was. I just wanted to get up from that very table where I had received the injury and complete the shot and get up and punch the guy back or whatever it was. And we did that. But soon after that, in the very next year, a whole sequence of physical, disabilities happened. Almost at the same location, almost with the same director, Manmohan Desai, shooting for Mard in Mysore, which was very close to Bangalore, where the first incident had taken place. I suddenly developed myasthenia gravis. I was coming back from the shooting and I was climbing up to my room, and I just collapsed because I couldn't walk. And I was wondering what was happening to me, and I called my doctor and he says, just drop everything and come back to Bombay. While I was in hospital, I was still unsure of what this meant. But when I had a bit of treatment done and I came home, I spent many days by myself, and I felt that perhaps Providence doesn't want me to continue, and that is why these disabilities or these accidents are coming across to me. And so I said, well, if Providence doesn't want me to go, and these are indicators of that, then perhaps I must stop working. I took a break to recover from all this, from myasthenia and all these injuries, and I went out of the country just to recuperate. And when I came back, I came to Delhi because I wanted to be with my parents. And the very next day, Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated. And I just, it was, like a series of shocks coming one after the other. And I just felt that because we had been friends from the time of my parents, it had been a close association. At that time, obviously, we were with the family and to lend our support. And that's the time when Rajivji asked me to fight an election. And I just felt that this was an emotional decision. It was not deliberate. I knew nothing about politics, and I was put up against a huge adversary in H.N. Bahuguna, who'd never ever lost an election in his life. I was not sure what I was doing, and if I may be very, very honest, I don't think I've ever disclosed this to anyone. In the middle of the campaign, I returned one day and I told my parents and my wife, I want to get away from here.
From here as in from politics?
In the middle of the campaigning, after I'd already fired.
In the middle of your campaign against Mr. Bahuguna?
Yeah.
After having committed to Rajiv Gandhi?
Everything. And already having done at least 10-15 days of campaigning.
Why did you do that?
I just was very uncomfortable. I did not know what I was doing.
What were you uncomfortable with?
I did not know what I was doing. I never knew.
But you were getting the crowds?
Sorry?
You were getting the crowds?
That's all right, but they meant nothing to me.
As in?
As in, you know, I was collecting crowds because they're coming to see my movies. But this was something else. I just felt that I was dividing people in their opinion.
On party line?
For almost 30 years of you know, or 15 or 20 years of my existence in the films, what was I actually doing? I was asking people to appreciate me or like me as an actor. And when I have them liking me for an actor, I tell them, now you start liking my politics. And I felt that was, somewhere I felt that was wrong. I said to them in the middle of the thing, I want to get back. I don't want to do this. My father said, fine, if your mind is not there, if you're not willing to do it, we'll go back. But my mother said, you have made a commitment and we are going to fight this. We are going to win this. After that, if you feel that you're uncomfortable, then you may resign. So I went along with my mother and we fought it and we won. But thereafter I was not very comfortable. I didn't know politics at all. And I felt that it's a completely different world.